Hey everybody, story time with Chef Pat. When I was a young meathead, roaming the streets of Los Angeles, getting into all kinds of adventures and hijinks, you could say that I was involved with a few high-risk behaviors. Me and my buddies, we loved to skateboard, we loved to go to the beach, play volleyball, have fun, chase girls. Some of my best times were had making silly videos with my friends. And you may ask, what kind of videos were they?
Introducing O Energy, the latest in energy technology. Recommended by OBGYN and your local gynecologist.
Mom, home! Here's my test.
I gotta go.
Thanks, but that wasn't the spider I was talking about.
Well, then where is it? What?
Sir, I didn't do anything.
Oh, horseshit! You verbally accosted me in the hallway! You son of a bitch!
What are you talking about, old man?
See?
I've been dumb my whole life. Ha-ha! Let's cook some meat! Today we're cooking one of my favorite sandwiches, a tri-tip sandwich. Tri-tips are not a super popular cut across the United States. This has historically been a West Coast cut of meat. In fact, it's pretty hard to find tri-tip in any store, in any butcher shop on the East Coast. Because no one likes just the tip. They need three. At least I do. One of the most popular ways to cook tri-tip is on a Santa Maria style grill. And the cut itself originates in Santa Maria, California. Tri-tip used to be used mostly for ground meat, but there was some dude in Santa Maria, California that was butchering that saw that this cut in particular could be used as a whole roast. Santa Maria style grills, I'm sure you've seen them, are the ones that have a huge rectangle bottom and then a huge grate that you crank up and down, right? So that's a Santa Maria style grill. Big roasts of tri-tip, you know, cooked on a Santa Maria style grill, sliced thin and made into sandwiches. That's kind of like one of the original ways to use tri-tip. I've been eating tri-tip my whole life. It's one of my favorite cuts of meat. It's one of my favorite things to roast. Best for sandwiches. It's great for just steaks on its own. Today we're gonna make a classic tri-tip sandwich. What tip of the cow does tri-tip come from? Why don't we go on over to the periodic table of beef and find out? Brought to you by Christensen Ranch. Tri-tip comes from the bottom sirloin. The bottom sirloin is kind of the front part of the leg right here. You see all your loins are going to be right here behind the ribs. Right? Sirloin, your tenderloin, you also cut into filet mignons, your top sirloin, and your bottom sirloin. Your bottom sirloin is a pretty big hunk of meat. So from the bottom sirloin, you can get a lot of different cuts. The tri-tip roast down here is the one that we're going to be cooking today. You can slice this up into tri-tip steaks and cook it more like just a regular steak, but we're going to cook the whole roast, slice it thin, and make some sandwiches. Once again, the periodic table of beef has been brought to you by Christensen Ranch. ChristensenRanch.com for the beefiest meat in Colorado. Christensen Ranch. All right, this is a super easy, basic recipe that anybody at home can follow. If you've got fire, if you've got metal, and you got a tri-tip, you can do this at home. I promise you. Let's crack this baby open and let's get going. That was not impressive at all. We've had this tri-tip sitting out for about 45 minutes. You want to bring it up to close to room temperature as possible. I think they say about a half hour per pound or something like that. As long as it feels not refrigerator cold, it's gonna be better than if it was refrigerator cold. I'm gonna pat this down, pat it dry. PSA, young men out there, don't be a fool, wrap your tip. So there, they left a nice layer of fat right on top of this. Sometimes when you get a whole tri-tip roast like this, the fat is trimmed off. I actually prefer this fat left on because I think when you cook it down, it renders into the meat a little bit more. It makes it a little more juicy and tender. It's a little thick, so we're probably gonna take it down just a little bit right here. And that's about it. That's pretty thick right there. Steak bite! Steak bite. She likes it. As is tradition on cooking meat, we're gonna give this a generous portion of seasoning. We like to use the Cookin' Meat world famous dry rub. Brought to you by us, Cookin' Meat, patent pending, TN. Keep your eye out in your local pick and save, summer 2026. So we're gonna give our tri-tip roast a generous helping of season on because we are unable to season inside of the roast. So all the meat in the middle of the roast are not gonna get any direct seasoning. We're gonna give it a little extra love on the outside to make sure it balances out on the inside. Look at that gorgeous, world famous cooking meat dry rub. Recipe available in the comments once I remember to put it there. That looks gorge. Just like Michael Jordan and Spice Jam. All right, so we are going to take this beautiful tri-tip outside. Let's head on out to Grilly Boy Blue and grill this sucker up. All right, Grilly Boy Blue is ready to go. We're gonna put this tri-tip, the fat side, up for a while. And we're gonna have it on hot, high heat. We're gonna put it right on the hottest part of the grill. Hell yeah. While we're doing this, we're gonna turn this side of the grill down to medium. This is a thicker cut of meat. So this is probably gonna take about 25-30 minutes to cook the right way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a sear side and a roast side. This is the sear side. This is the hottest side there is. We're gonna close this up in a second, get this going, and when we flip it over on this side, we're gonna let it on the cooler side, and then we're gonna let it go and cook for a while. So the sear side, probably gonna be on for less time. This is gonna be more time, but it'll work itself out evenly in the cook because this is hotter and that's cooler. All right, so we close this up. Let that chill for a little bit. Don't be hasty. Anyone who's been a chef over a long period of time has developed at least one habit. Weed, soccer from North England, my habits, most of them died along with my chef career. I'll probably die at 58. But it's a chance I'm willing to take. I don't even like my kids that much, so no big deal there. See the fat cap right there? See it starting to sizzle, whatever? That whole thing, this whole fat cap is gonna start to render, just like when we render tallow, just like when we render anything, and that's going to render into the meat a little bit. And then we're gonna flip it on this side, and it's gonna sear that fat cap, and that greasy juice isn't gonna be able to go anywhere, and it's gonna be a very nice, juicy steak, and then we'll let it rest for a while. So I'm gonna close this up again just for a few more minutes, and then we'll flip it on to the other side. God damn it, Ricky. All right, this is starting to get smoking hot. The fat is really starting to render out and smoke down. Oh, look at that. That is beautifully, perfectly charred. If you aren't familiar with my kind of cooking, you're gonna look at saying that burnt that. I guarantee you it's not burnt. It's gonna be perfectly smoky, seasoned, salty, fatty. So now it's on the cooler side. So we're gonna close this up again and we're just gonna let it go 10 minutes. The high heat is gonna help create an oven effect, but the low direct heat is not gonna char it so fast. So we're gonna let it sit there on this side and kind of finish cooking all the way through. So by the time it's done, that one side will be nice and charred too, and the inside won't be overcooked. All right, so it's been about 9 minutes or so. We got a nice char on both sides. It's got an even char. We're going to kind of hit it on the sides just to kind of get the sides charred a little bit too. And then we're just about done. Don't worry about the char. It's not burnt yet. Trust me. Both sides, hit it like that, and we are good to go. All right, we'll bring that inside, let it rest, and whip up some sandos. Let's get going. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back to Cooking Meat with Chef Pat. So this is a big, thick piece of meat. It is. We are gonna let this rest for probably 12 to 15 minutes. We're really gonna let that guy rest up, which is perfect because in the meantime, we're gonna saute some onions. We're gonna add a wee bit of tallow. I bless thee with the holy tallow of the cow from Christensen Ranch. ChristensenRanch.com. So while that's rendering down, we're gonna take our Knife Saga knives and put them to another test. I'm gonna julienne an onion. We used to have julienne races back in the old days when I was still working in professional kitchens. I used to julienne so fast they just called it joules. Here we go, meatheads. For the record, if you're playing along at home, get your timers ready. When I say go, we start. Post your time in the comment. We'll see who wins. All right, meatheads. And go. Shit. I lost it. Lost 1.5 onion for a second, but brought it back. That's under 30 seconds. Didn't even. Ah! All right, so we got our julienne onions. Throw them in here on low. And this, we're not gonna saute down too much. I like a little texture and I like a little crunch to it. So we're just gonna kind of give these a pretty quick saute. I wouldn't even call them like caramelized onions. I'd just say sauteed onions. And while that's going, we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna make a little sauce. The only acceptable sauce for a tri-tip sandwich has gotta be a horsey sauce. Homemade horsey sauce. And this is for me. You do it whatever you want. I like the extra spicy horseradish. Yes, whoo! That could burn a hole right through your boxers. So we're gonna add a little bit of horseradish, half a tablespoon's worth. Got to keep your head on a swivel around here. We're gonna add 2 big tablespoons full of mayonnaise. The best mayonnaise around. It's gonna remain nameless until they sponsor us. But if you're from the East Coast and you like putting mayonnaise with seafood, there's only one mayonnaise that is. Hell if I know, man, what it is. Then we're just gonna add a little bit of salt, and then we're just gonna add a touch of lemon juice. A little acidity, a little freshness. Not too much, not a full squeeze, a small squeeze. Oh, that's good horsey. Welcome back, welcome back. Tonto, jump on it. All right, so we got our horsey sauce done. You can put whatever condiments you like on it. Lettuce, tomato, raw onion, pickles, jalapenos, crispy potato straws, pig skins, more tri-tip, bacon, brisket tri-tip bacon sandwich. Oh, we get to use the bread knife. Hey, Knife Saga Knives, bread knife. And if you're using your bread knife for something other than bread, you're an idiot. Do I need to cut it? Nope, don't even need to cut it. Don't need the bread knife. False alarm, guys. We'll try it again next week. All right, yep. This is just a regular bun. Just a regular bun. Add a little salt to the onion. Pone poquito sal a la cebolla. So this is been resting for about 10 minutes. I bet you exactly by the time this is done, that's gonna be done. And it's gonna be perfect. So we're gonna toast up our bread on our cast iron pan, which has been perfectly seasoned with the Larby Puck cast iron seasoning. Check out Crispy Puck or Larby Puck for all your cast iron seasoning needs. Oh yeah, starting to get a little color on these onions. So on my tri-tip sandwiches, I love good pickled things. So we're gonna put some pickle slices on for me. We're gonna put some banana peppers, sauteed onions, our horsey sauce, and that is gonna be just all the things that I like to eat. We got a nice golden ale to complement it. We're gonna eat this and finally finish Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Belloc. All right, we're just about there. So I'm gonna start slicing up this meat. We're gonna go with the Knife Saga boning knife. They don't have like a true slicer in here, but this boning knife, I use it for something else and it works pretty good. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful medium rare in the middle. The outsides are gonna be a little more well done just because it's the smaller side, but that is perfect. Now we're gonna cut a few of these slices pretty thin, all right? Let's see if I can cut them. Almost like roast beef. So tender. Alrighty, we got our French bread. We're gonna add a little bit of our horsey sauce. Generous helping of horsey sauce. I'm gonna add our tri-tip. Medium rare is better, but it's all gonna be good. Tri-tip's one of those things, I could probably cook tri-tip in my sleep. It's almost not even fair for me to do a tri-tip video. Since I've been cooking tri-tip so long, I knew it was gonna be perfect. I cook tri-tip like the wind blows. I may not be a smart man, but I know how to cook tri-tip. So we got a stack of meat on here. I'm gonna throw a couple of kosher hamburger pickles. Yeah, not sweet, not bread and butter pickles. Crunchy, salty, briny. A lot of them are still gonna have a nice little crunch to it, so nothing crazy. We're gonna have this tiny little slice of bottom bread. Slice this right down the middle. All right. Tri-tip, homemade horsey sauce, pickles, sauteed onions. It's messy and fabulous. Everything just works so good together. If you don't like pickles, maybe put something pickled on here. If you like sauerkraut or if you like pickled onions or banana peppers or anything, that pickled briny flavor with the steak and the onions and the horsey just brings it all together. Today is a great day, my fellow Americans, my fellow meatheads. You never go wrong with tri-tip sandwiches. What we did here today was an ode to Santa Maria, California. Oh, but that was fantastic. The soft French bread, I like French bread for these kind of sandwiches because you can get it kind of crispy. It soaks up all the juice from the meat. It was really good. I think we did it again, guys. I see no issues with what we did here today. We're gonna look back at this and remember, Santa Maria, California, little sister to Santa Monica, but she's the one that puts out. So long, you meaty fucks.